This is dedicated to anyone that's been knocked down but not out. The ones that fell to their knees but rose back up. The ones that scratched and clawed but never let go. The ones willing to admit their faults, move past their failures, and improve every single day. I hope these conversations encourage you to think critically, make you laugh hysterically, inspire you profoundly, and remind you to practice gratitude daily. My name is Iman. Welcome to the conversation. Welcome to Awesome People.
And you're live.
What's going on, awesome people? Welcome to another episode of the Awesome People podcast. First of all, if you've been joining us live, I do apologize. We had what they call technical difficulties. Literally, our computer would not turn on. So thanks to the expertise and the MacGyver instincts of Brandon and Anush, we are actually still able to have this show going on live. And I would have been really bummed out if we didn't have this opportunity to have this virtual sit down with today's guests and just being able to connect with all of you. It's my birthday today, and I really wanted to make it very special, and I wanted to make it memorable, and I wanted to make it hopefully as inspirational and motivational as possible. And my guest today will be able to definitely help me accomplish those specific goals. I just felt that on this particular day, what would make it a special day for me is to make sure that I raise awareness for a form of cancer called AML, also known as acute myeloid leukemia. And it's also the cancer that has unfortunately affected my father. He's been diagnosed with it since 2017. And my guest today is a young man, 23 years old, of course Persian, from the Toronto area. At the age of 23, he is now a three-time survivor of the same exact disease, AML. And his story is just incredible. When I first came across his story, I was blown away by how he defied all odds to be able to stand before us here and do what he's doing, which is now pursuing his other true passion, which is music, singing, producing, rapping, and he's just an incredible soul that we're happy to still have here and being such a force of inspiration for the entire world. And so I was like, you know what? I think on my birthday, this is exactly how I want to spend it. First of all, doing an Awesome People podcast episode where I get to connect with all of you. I genuinely love to have these conversations, and I wish I had the resources and the time to do more and more of them because they really feed my soul. And I hope that it touches you all when you listen to these incredible stories from these guests that I continue to have. And so that's kind of why I chose on May 31st to have this episode, and Tymaz Baghbani is the guest. But before I bring him on, I just want to play a little promo video so you get to know him a little bit until we get to know him on a deeper level when he comes in and we have a nice deep conversation about his story and his goals and his passion. And sit back, grab a glass of wine or beer, and let's enjoy this conversation. Thank you.
Tymaz Baghbani's message to the doctors who told him he only had 6 months to live.
I could never even imagine for a second life without Tymaz.
Do not disturb, I've been in a different zone. TB12 red zone, straight end zone. Still, D&D to the fake friends though. Still, bad energy just drowns my mental. So I stay in the studio every night. Came in the game, no warning, no break light. No
Tymaz Baghbani just celebrated his 23rd birthday. His cancer in remission.
And you're back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, it's my pleasure to virtually bring on Tymaz Baghbani from Toronto, Canada. Tymaz, how are you, my friend?
Looking forward to this convo, man.
Likewise, man. I really appreciate you making time. First of all, I apologize for the delay up there, but I guess we wouldn't really be Persian if there wasn't some kind of delays in the way that we start on all gatherings, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So Tymaz, I kind of gave like a little brief, on a macro level of your story, but obviously there's just so much more to your story. I would rather it comes from your own words. Just kind of give your little story of like your upbringing, where you were born, where you were raised, and then share with us a journey of what first happened medically, and then pretty much the journey that you've gone through.
Okay, so my parents are both refugees, came straight from Iran by themselves, no family, built themselves up. I was born in Toronto myself. We had a my mom, they worked hard. We moved up a little north. Since I was a little kid, I always had one goal, and that was to be a soccer player. And I started playing at the highest levels in Canada at the age of 5. Played at the highest levels, continued. I was having a happy, normal childhood, doing well, like a true Canadian success story. And then at the age of 11 is when I was first diagnosed with leukemia AML. And it was just like I would always be one of the fastest players at training and everything. And I just started to notice bruises all over across my body. And my mom just noticed I wasn't running as fast, and just mother's intuition took me to see a doctor. And the doctor told me right there, it's like if you kept playing, you could have done like a header and got internal bleeding, because I was like training with basically zero cells in my body. And then after that, I beat it the first time, got back to normal life, got back to soccer. Feels like it was just a hiccup. It was good for 2.5 years. And then in the grade 9 summer, it relapsed again for the second time. And with that, and with the second battle with leukemia, they told me this time the only chance was to get a bone marrow transplant. So and nobody in my family was a match, so we had to go on like a donor drive across the world, me and my mom fighting to get that. I finally found a match, got the transplant, and then it was doing well. 10 months later after that, I moved to Spain, Malaga at 15 by myself, and started trying out with professional clubs there. And only about a month and a half in there, I relapsed again for the third time and had to go straight from the soccer field in Spain to Sick's Hospital in Toronto. And then keep going, or like yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess so. And that was how long ago? I guess you kind of just gave a timeline from the time you were 11 years old, and you're 23 years old right now. When you went back there the last time from Spain straight to the hospitals in Toronto, and then by the time you went through the whole process of chemo, when did that end? How long have you been in remission?
So basically, when I first got back, they didn't even want to give me treatment or anything. They just said it would do more damage than good. They gave me 6 months to live. They just told my mom, enjoy the time you have left with your son. We just refused to accept it. We went to the board of the hospital, fought for the treatment, fought for everything, had to do everything again. And every time you go through a battle and you go through it again, it becomes 10 times harder. So like the third time, like my body has already gone through 2 full treatments, 1 bone marrow transplant. And this time I had to get total body radiation and a second bone marrow transplant. And then but like my first 2 times I was still playing soccer. I was good. Like I would just go in the hospital, beat it, come back out, start training again. But it's my third battle that really, like, because basically when you get the thing that cured my cancer, the second bone marrow transplant, basically took away everything else. And
Is
then
that when you were put in a wheelchair and you were told that you would never walk again?
yeah, basically. So right now I'm like 8 years remission. So they gave me 6 months to live, and it's 8 years now. And I'm doing good, getting stronger every single day. But it just took years and years and years to get my body back, because when I had the second one, basically it's called graft versus host disease. When you get a transplant from somebody else's body, your body doesn't recognize it as it's your own organ, right? So in its natural instinct is to fight against each other. And your bone marrow is your like cell factory. That's where all your cells are come get produced and everything. Your cells are everywhere in your body. So basically every cell in my body went to war with each other. And it was like very, very, very bad. I don't know, like that. And then basically all my joints and things got constricted, and I was like stuck like in a bent position 90 degrees, and they told me I'll just be like that.
So how do the doctors explain how you were able to defy all the odds and basically make it out on the other side? Like what do you attribute it to? What do they attribute it to?
To be honest, I'm sure they're still wondering how, but I know it's soccer that did it for me, literally. The love to get back to the game, the love to know that I got great things to do in life, and it's the mindset. Because whenever you whatever your mind tells you, your body's gonna follow. So basically, like when people say it, I say it all the time, soccer, literally.
Where does this incredible passion and desire, sense of purpose, like what's been the catalyst? Like, would you say that from a very young age you were determined, or is this something that the determination and the purpose all came during your first bout of cancer? Like, if I were to go back to Tymaz when he was 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, would he have the same demeanor, the same will to be the greatest?
100%. Timeless has always been timeless. Like, like in everything I thought since a kid, I would go to the fields myself. I would call the coaches myself since a kid. I'm doing all the things just like how I do in my music. I handle everything myself. I was a man since I was a kid. And I did it all. And it's just always, I felt like I have confidence in myself and my abilities. And I always like, I don't like, there's just like, how there's fight and flight? Time just has fight, no flight in his body.
So,
That's it.
so where do you think it come from? Like, where does this like, where does it come from? You think?
It's it's in me, but I found it in me and I grew it myself. You know what I mean? Like I always had it in me. I feel like everybody has it in me, but I just tap into it. And I tap into it because whenever I find something that I'm passionate about and I like you don't need to tell me. You don't need to be like, oh, time, let's go train. Like I'm gonna do it myself. That's just something like I enjoy to do that. So like for me, it's not like hard work. It's something that I just do naturally. But like it's a looking around you and seeing what do you want to be in this life and what makes you excited, and then finding that's the thing that taps in with you, so you tap in with it. So basically, yeah, that's the mentality.
But where did your love and passion for soccer or football, where did that derive from? Do you remember the first time you fell in love with the pitch?
Like even my parents tell me I was kicking the ball before I could even walk. Like it was just like that's it. Like that's I've been soccer's been me. That's been timeless, and it's like I don't know. It's just natural. It's like how do you like why is the sky blue? It's like things like that. Why does timeless love soccer? It's like it's just I can't describe it. It's just it's a different kind of feeling I
Hold
get.
on I'm so sorry, Thomas. Give me 1 second. We just had. Give me a second, brother. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Um, Yeah, so I'm sorry. It was I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here. So go back real quick to kind of explaining, like it was just in you from the beginning, like you're kind of born with the ball in your lap, and you just kind of like continue to have like this love for it multiply throughout the years.
Yeah, it was in me from the beginning, and then it just grew and grew and grew and grew more as I get older and I understand more.
So there, unfortunately, it got to the point where this last time around, that dream of playing professionally or at the highest level possible really became it just wasn't going to happen again. So my first question is, how did you deal with that setback?
Um, it's something I'm still dealing with now. It's not like it's in the past. I just it's just you gotta things happen in life, and you can either let them crush you or let it build you. And it's just like I used it as like, okay, I can't do this, but more than even soccer, I think I love competing. And then I found in music is like it's an even playing field. It's not like I was always at a disadvantage, always like had a disadvantage training with these guys that I'm going to hospital and going back to the pitch. These guys have I'm getting my time taken away from me, everything. And it's just like music is another way of me competing.
And so is that how the adjustment came? You realized that you can no longer compete at the highest level with soccer, but you found like the next closest. And if I'm not mistaken, you didn't just find the next closest love in music. I feel like at this point you're realizing that, wait a second, I thought it was soccer that was going to be the major love of my life. But would it be fair to say that at this point, music is right neck and neck, and you're maybe it's even fueling your hunger even more? Or tell me about it. Maybe I'm wrong.
I would say I bring the same mentality I brought to soccer to my music, like my training things. Like it's all about things. Like in my first year of music, I'm like I'm gonna do this serious. I made 30 songs a month for like 4 straight months so I could perfect it. It's like reps, it's like drills, and like music is just I'm still finding what I want in life. Like I'm still like everyone else, you know. But I enjoy it, and I'm putting anything I enjoy, I do to my best of my abilities.
How integral, because I've watched a lot of interviews with you, and your mom is referenced a lot. Share with me the love between your mom and you, and how she's been there through this process, and just talk to me about that relationship that you've had.
Yeah, man. There's zero chance I'm here today if it wasn't for my mom, and I always say that first thing. Like when I had to fight for my life, she's fighting for me to be able to fight for my life. We're like a we're like a tag team. It's a different kind of bond with me and my mom. And then she just wants the best for me in life, and that's someone I always trust and look up to, and so, like real strength. Like I don't give it up. She's really real strength, man. I've seen it firsthand. It's not many people like her in the world. I guarantee you that.
It's amazing, man. There's nothing like a mother's love, that's for sure. So right now, as you're turning a corner in this career of music, actually, when did the love for music start? Because I saw you even had like a poetic video that was created a few years ago. I think it was either during or right after one of your treatments. It was like a 7-minute video of you sharing your story through poetry. When did that all start? When did you realize that, oh, wait a second, this could be my calling now that soccer is off the table?
Yeah, so even as a kid, like I always was really good at poems and writing. Like as gifts, I would just write a quick poem, and then they would get the biggest reaction because I could do it so well. And like I always had the writing in English class. If we're doing like poetry, I would write a crazy poem. But it's just my only love was soccer, so that's the only thing I ever thought about or focused on. So now that it was out my life, I had to like look at what else I can do in life and what else I'm really good at. And then the music came, and I actually got in that thing. Literally, I wrote that one was the first thing I ever wrote. It's called Hope, Hold On, Pain Ends, the video you're talking about. And it's basically was like, people were like, what happened to Tymaz? I was literally on my deathbed. I wrote that. And it's a song about hope, hold on, pain ends. And it did. Like I manifested, right? Like music is so powerful. Like you can make a song today about where you're going to be in 5 years, and you're going to be there in 5 years. Like it's a
And
very powerful tool.
and like I would say that most, if not all, of your songs and the lyrics are about your journey and battling cancer and surviving, right?
Yeah, 100%. I put that into it, and then but I like to put it in a little clever way where even if you think I'm not talking about it, I'm really talking about it. Like it's like because the how I got into music first was I got into battle rap
Hmm.
because I always like the bars and the lyrics, and like in battle rap is like no beat, no nothing. It's just and I love the competitive too. So it's like me versus you, who can use these words better, So I got into that, but then it's like I have big goals. So music is the biggest way to reach the world. So I taught myself how to write songs, and then I just put. So that's why my lyrical ability I feel is like top notch, one of the world class level, because I got into battle rap and things where it's like these guys they just go with the beat and they flow, but they're not really saying nothing. I can't say nothing. I've been through too much to not be able to say nothing. You know.
And by telling your story and through the lyrics, is that part of like your mission? Are you trying to impact other people, or is it more about like you need this for your own sanity, you need it for your own healing, you need it for your own purpose? Like how much of it is for the people and to help other people, and how much is it for just you doing you, and like if other people enjoy it, great too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good question. I would say it's mostly like if it was just for me, I would just keep them to myself. Like I would just write it and I wouldn't release it. But I know what I can do and the effect that I have on people when they hear me, they hear my story, they hear my music, they meet me, they see the way I'm still moving right now, like nothing happened. Like how do you like do that? And I know that that gives them strength, seeing me have strength. So I feel like it's my purpose, and it's like would be selfish for me to not share it with other people.
I love that. Well, now that we're talking about your music, I definitely want to share the one of the promos that you have from Deep Dive. And is it Deep Dive or Dive Deep?
Dive deep, yeah.
Dive Deep. Sorry about that. I have a little bit of dyslexic on my end. So we're gonna play that promo, and then we're gonna talk about all the exciting projects that you're working on right now, which hopefully includes you coming down to Miami and doing your next music video. So let's go ahead and play that promo, and then we'll also have this little clip of where you were helping do a promo for Sick Kids, which I think it was with a pretty well-known soccer player. I don't know too many soccer players, right?
Yeah. He played in England. He was the Torn FC captain at the time.
Okay,
So
very cool. So we're gonna play the Dive Deep promo, and then we're gonna play the promo you created for Sick Kids.
I will try to fix you.
That's my kind of goal.
And we can dive deep, yeah. Resurface when it's hard to breathe, yeah. Chosen so I know it's all on me. Found my purpose, then I found me. And we can dive deep, yeah. Resurface when it's hard to breathe, yeah. Chosen so I know it's all on me. Found my purpose, then I found me.
5, 4, 3, 2. Back.
All right, so we're back with Tymaz. Did we play the promo for Sick Kids as well, Brandon?
hmm
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't know if that was played. So first of all, Tymaz, why don't you go ahead and share a little bit more about the foundation, the Sick Kids, so we can make sure we give them a little shout out about what they are, what's their mission.
yeah, so Sick Kids is probably one of the best children hospitals in the entire world, literally. Like it's a like I want to say magical place because it's like a kids hospital, but they can make your experience really well, and like I'm very thankful for Sick Kids. You know, Sick Kids is one of the like I was very lucky to be born in Toronto and have the access to a hospital like that for my treatments. And they're just like a real pillar of the community, real pillar of the city, and I support Sick Kids fully. Great hospital, great organization. And I wanted to touch on this. You know how you said the timers always have it, or you're born with that thing. You see in that video, I was like of the Sick Kids commercial. That
hmm
was literally like maybe my 6th or 7th straight birthday I had to spend in the hospital.
hmm
And then with that video, that was like probably the sickest point of my life. Like when everything just like switched to everything. And you see me in that video, I'm killing the guy in FIFA and talking in his ear, saying, that's my kind of goal. So like that's the I think the epitome of like what Tymaz's mentality is. Like no matter what situation he's in, he's gonna fight and he's gonna let you know he's winning.
Yeah, he actually looked like he was about to start crying. You were whooping his ass. But yeah, I mean, first of all, what they do at some of these children's hospitals is pretty amazing. What word of advice do you have for both children that are going through that really, really difficult phase, and hopefully they come out of it victorious like you do? And then what advice do you have for parents that are going through that period as well?
For the children, I would say the situation you're in is temporary, you know? And then it's about how you look at the situation is how the situation is gonna come out. So it's all about just keeping a positive thoughts and don't think about the situation you're in. Just keep your thoughts on what you're gonna do when you're gonna get better. And then just keep those thoughts always. Don't I know it's like very hard to say, like don't think about this, but you have to. That's how you beat it. You have to keep your thoughts on what I'm going to do when I get out. Like, me and my mom, we had a promise. Time was when you walk, we're gonna go on the beach and walk together, Like you keep those kind of things on the thoughts in your head. When you get on, I'm gonna be back on the soccer pitch. When I get on, I'm gonna do this. When I do like you always have to keep looking to because your brain is going to take in positive things in the future, and then your body's going to take in. It's like real nutrients to your body.
Yeah, man,
And
bro,
then
the power of mindset for sure. So, what were you doing to keep a positive mindset? I mean, like, were you reading books? Did you watch motivational speakers? Did you watch documentaries? You know what I mean? Like, was it all internal stuff that you kind of created and you positively pushed your mind, or were there other things that you were kind of gravitating towards? Watch motivational speakers? Did you watch documentaries? Did you? You know what I mean?
I would say
Stuff that you kind of created and
it was just more of the fact of uh I wasn't watching like too many things. Like I was just like to be one. That's why I say soccer, like soccer. Like I was like thinking how I'm gonna get on the pitch. Like my dad would bring my cones. I told him bring my cones. He would hold my IV pole while I'm getting chemo. I'm dribbling in the hallways of the hospital to try to not lose as much time. Like so, it was just like that. And like I'm a kid. I make the most of every situation I'm in. My friends would come. We would have fun in the hospital. Like we would like. It was just things like that to just try to keep it going. And I'm just a kid. I don't even realize what I'm doing. But like, this is the type of things that you need to do to come out of that situation.
What kind of advice do you have for your parents, for any parents that are going through this?
We would like. It was just things like that to just try to keep it going. I would say, kid, I don't even realize the parents. But like, this is the type of. It's a very tough. I don't know how to look. To be honest, to talk to the parents like that because I was never. It's a very different situation when you're doing it and you're watching somebody that's going through it and you can't really like do anything to help. Only thing is just try to keep your child into the most positive situation as you can and positive mindset. Take him out. Be in the sun as much as you can. Literally, be in the sun, and just spend your time with your kids. And all he needs in that time and like that is just love, and know that he has parents and people that love him and are looking after him and do whatever it takes.
So basically, just making sure they have as much or close to having an experience of a childhood, and then of course the love of the family. The combination of two will hopefully make it the best possible experience during a obviously difficult period for both parent and children. Well, let's try to now change a little focus on the horizon, the great things that you're working on. I'm so glad that it worked out, and we had an event here in Miami a month ago or so. You happened to be in town, and I actually got to meet you in person. Um, what are some of the things that you're working on right now? I know you're hustling and you're grinding, but what can people expect out of Tymaz the artist coming up?
So right now, my first album is basically done. It's in the works. So I have my single coming out soon, Heavenly, and I'm just trying to shoot the craziest music video I can to get the visuals right. And I'm gonna drop my project right after that. And like this music is like at a different level, man. It's a melodic. It's a music that every single age, race can enjoy. Man, and I'm saying real stuff at the same time, and I'm rapping my ass off. Like it's just the time is gives my I give my soul into my music. That's all. And then I'm coaching. I coach soccer as well in Toronto. I'm working on getting my C license. I'm gonna start doing a private technical academy too to train the kids and get their technique up. And then just I make my investments, I do my hustles, but right now my focus is mainly on just getting my music video done and dropping my project and just trying to find the right people to work with and connect with that can help me deliver that and make sure that I get distributed properly.
Right, no, absolutely. And one of the things that you try to ask me to help you out with is to connect you with the people in the music industry. What are, let's put it out here, let's put it out in the universe. Who are you looking for? Like, who are you trying to work with, so that hopefully if it reaches the right people, they can contact you, or they at least share it to the right people, so that you get some phone calls, some emails, and get this ball moving forward.
You would think they say more of the Persian community or like American?
Anywhere. I mean, whoever sees this can spread it to whoever you're looking for. So let's put it out in the universe, and let's see where it takes us.
Well, I would say Tory Lanez and Drake are my favorite artists, both from the city, doing it big. Those are two of probably my dream collabs I would love to work with. Tory Lanez actually FaceTimed me before when he heard my story.
Oh,
and he
nice.
told me like, was saying, "Oh man, just rate it and make music for people like you." So hopefully soon in the works we'll get something going. I also love to do like podcasts and like this, have a conversation where people can really tap into the mindset, the soul, and the story. So I was thinking even like Gian Gomeshi is a person in Toronto that's doing it big, and I
That's
know
right.
that he interviewed Drake before. So it's like, you get Drake and then you get Timeless. So that would be pretty cool
Oh
too.
wow, I didn't know that he did Drake. That's actually great.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So that's
hopefully we could have you opening up in front of one of his Air Canada shows next time around. That'd be a cool experience.
yeah.
But what about like, because I know you're also looking to connect with like musicians and producers and stuff like that. If they want to collab with you, what's the best way for them to reach you?
I would say my Instagram is where I'm most active on, and it's Tymaz9. So Tymaz and then the number 9. I check my DMs, this is what I do this is my career, it's my business. I take everything seriously. And this is what I'm trying to do. I also want to get into doing keynote speeches, say my story in that level. I'm trying to get a book deal. I'm trying to do a lot of things, So if any publishers in the book community watch this podcast, hear my story, it's there, man. The project is there. The people more people in the world need to hear about Thomas and his fight.
Absolutely, man. And is there any chance of you? I mean, you're straight up on the TV. Are there any chance of you rapping in Persian as well?
من ایرانی هم اینقدر خوب نیست ولی like
I mean,
I'm born in Toronto,
you're
but like I throw in a couple words in my things to show them, we can do it if we want, but why not,
it,
man?
is
People
it,
I feel like the Persian community makes fun of my accent though. So like I don't know.
no. Well, I mean, first of all, you gotta enjoy what you're doing, and if you enjoy it, then whatever the people want to respond, that's on them. You're always gonna have somebody that's gonna love and appreciate what you're putting out. But I mean, you're representing the Farvahar, so at least you're representing the culture in that degree. And I was just kind of curious if you are gonna have any Farsi as well.
I have some songs coming with Persian artists. So like those guys and they just rap in Persian, they can. So
Who's
like
the artist?
like Ali Eza, he's doing his big. I have a couple other ones that are trying to do it. They're like basically artists from Iran that came to Toronto. They're
Awesome.
like, so they're doing it big there. And Iran is hip hop's community is growing a lot. It's
Of
not like
course.
it's not a little thing anymore. It's like a real industry.
Do you follow a lot of the Persian rappers like Irfan and all those? I mean, there's so many. I don't want to just put out a couple of names, but do you follow Persian rap at all?
Like I heard about it when I was a kid, but me myself, I never really like I but like there's a few couple of guys like Puban does his nice thing. He's from he lives in
Yeah,
Toronto too. He's really good, talented guy. But yeah, and there's a guy Heachcast. I liked his thing. Heachcast, he says like some
of
real
course,
stuff.
of course.
So
Yeah,
like, yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So
And
like
one of my favorites is actually Yas. Have you checked out Yas?
I've heard of him. Yeah, I was trying to connect with him recently too. We'll see. We'll go see.
Yas is like old school. One of the first that really did it like incredibly. Like if you want to hear somebody passionately rap, especially about the homeland, you're not gonna find too many people above Yas. So personally, one of my favorites. Um,
Cool.
so what can people expect if you had to kind of like share with us your 5-year plan? Where do you see Timaz in 5 years?
I'm trying to be an icon, a symbol for perseverance, symbol for. I want people to think of the fight like when they think of Sky. Hey man, this is a real underdog that made it happen. That's what they're gonna think of Timeless. And it's like music is my love, and I don't know if music's going to be my thing, but I know music is gonna bring me to the thing that I'm gonna do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. For
So
you,
like
for you, it's creating the pathway for the next big thing.
that's it. It's just because I just want as many people to touch and connect and inspire as many people in the world as I can while I'm still breathing.
And there's no better way to do it lyrically, musically, melodically, and You know, you got the flow, man, and I know you're going to continue to get better and better. And just know that, you know, the Persian community is going to support the hell out of you in whatever way they can. I definitely believe in our community, and I have no doubt that as your story continues to spread amongst our community, that it's going to create opportunities for you. And you have me in your corner, and whatever I can do, it'll be my pleasure, because you're just you're a bright light of hope, my friend, you know, and I just want you to know that what you've gone through, I know was extremely difficult, but you now have the ability to bless a lot of people's lives by giving them a lot of hope and courage and zest for life. You know, there's a lot of people that are walking around life and they don't really appreciate what they have. And when they hear stories like yours, I have no doubt that it's going to trigger something inside of them and make them say that, oh, you know what, I need to stop taking any moment for granted and pursue my dreams, pursue my hopes, and fight for it, because nothing is being given to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've gone through hell and back, and you're still fighting for everything and every opportunity, because that's what life is. You know, nothing is just given out. You know, so thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to share your story, man. And it's been a true pleasure just getting to know you and getting to know the love that you have for life. And I hope that you continue to touch a lot of people, my friend.
No, thank you, man. I really that was well said, man. I like that.
If you have any closing words, man, anything that you have in your heart that you want to share that you haven't already said, please know that the stage is yours. And speaking of stage, I hope that you continue to perform on the biggest stages in the world. But I do want you to kind of say any last words that you'd like.
All right, I'll give you guys a line from my upcoming single.
Let's do it.
If you never give up, you never can lose. That's it.
Love it. I cannot wait to well, actually, that's the one that you sent us through WhatsApp, right? I've heard that one, right?
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, I appreciate you very much. Please send my best to your parents, especially your mom. The love that and the bond that you have with your mother is incredible, and they raised a great young man, and I'm rooting for you, and I can't wait to see what's coming, because when your name is warrior, which is what Tymaz means, you know, you're unstoppable. So keep on using your great force for good, man.
No, I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank
my
you so
friend.
much.
Be well, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Tymaz, and as he signs off, I just want to thank you all again and apologize in advance for any technical issues. You know, it wasn't the most perfect of productions because of what happened with our computer essentially not even turning on. So I do apologize, but I appreciate you guys sticking around, and hopefully we'll get a chance to reconnect again next time for another episode. I don't know exactly when and with who, but it's going to be a great conversation regardless. Thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget to click subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and much love.